Are you tired of waiting for new content? Is the Riptide drought drying your gills? Are you looking for something to fill that black sea in your heart? Do you have no clue what I'm talking about? Well, boy, do I have the solution for you.
Like many of you, I found myself missing the Riptide campaign. I needed something to keep me focused while I did my math homework, so I tuned in to just rolled with it for Blend the Bayou. And then, Bisley says something that sticks out to me.
This would have been a cool video game.
Yeah.
This would make a cool video game.
Thanks, man.
And I thought, yeah, it would. So obviously the only option I had was to immediately throw my homework out the window and code like my life depended on it. Sorry, Mr. You can catch up on all of that in my last video. In that video, I mentioned something crucial that I didn't really show. The core mechanic of the game. Pretty much everything else is designed to enhance this one feature.
But before all that, this video is sponsored by you. I have a Patreon, you get early builds of the game and all of this. And maybe I can even hire some folks to speed things up. Thank you. The main feature of this game is the dialogue system. Specifically, dialogue trees. I made this whole visualizer to help me with longer dialogues. It presents multiple responses for the user to choose from, each triggering a different event. Why is that important, you ask? Well, because the way we tell a story is crucial. There is no game without a compelling story. However, there are many ways to convey a story, and relying solely on dialogue will result in a cheap, unsatisfactory game. Take a look at this graph of a typical story plot. This structure can enhance pretty much any game mechanic. In horror games, for example, it represents tension and release. One of my favorite tools to achieve this effect is the uncanny. You've likely heard of the uncanny valley, where things appear almost human, but are slightly off, creating feelings of unease and disgust. A flickering light has a similar effect. It deviates from what we expect in a normal hallway, making us feel unsafe. Resident Evil excels at this. The villagers seem off. They're stilted and speak unnaturally, yet not so much that it makes you think something supernatural is happening. It creates an unsettling atmosphere. Without such details, dialogue merely tells you about the story. It doesn't tell you a story. So let's start on that. All we need is a bit of art, and then I can start writing the dialogue. It shouldn't take too long. Just turns out I overlooked a crucial aspect of the game structure. I was so busy raving about how little I needed to code that I didn't realize there was a catch. Unlike my usual projects where 95% of the effort goes into coding and 5% into sound design, level design, and art, which I half-ass.
This game requires 99 long, boring creativity and art, and only 1% actually fun coding. I am gaining carpal tunnel, and my wrist is screaming. Now, if you're like me, you have problems with scope. I often set goals for myself that are way too large, but I'm trying not to let that get out of hand with this project. My main goal is simple: get the demo out there by the end of the summer. The demo will have character creation, one backstory, of which was chosen by my Discord community, which you can check out in the description down below. We got polls, updates, all of that pizzazz. Also, happy Pride Month. My power grows with each passing day. And branching storyline. Of course, I'm not going to get a full story out in the demo. Most likely just the end of episode 1 in Blood in the Bayou. Hey! Tip for all you aspiring game devs out there. Never launch your demo on your Steam page. Steam counts this as your actual launch, and so will publishers. This means publishers won't give you a contract at all, because a lot of their marketing, and most marketing, depends on hyping up the launch. Introducing my biggest problem with the project: time management. You see, my time is split between two things: making the game and marketing it. The problem is, I'm squishing that into a 1-week time frame because I'm trying to upload a devlog a week. So instead, I'm extending that by a week. 1 week for working on the game, 1 week for marketing. Now, this isn't going to be a strict one devlog every other week scenario. I'm going to do one devlog whenever I can. Might be in the middle of the second week, might be a few days after the 2-week mark. Depends on how much work I had that week.